So you finally exhausted all of your options. You're done looking through all of the free YouTube videos, checking out the books from the library, listening to the podcast, and it's time for you to think about joining a course or a program in order to level up your life. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some of my tips that have helped me to decide whether or not to buy a course as part of my level up journey, and give you some food for thought to help you make that decision on whether or not a certain course could be right for you. Just as a disclaimer, you are the one that must decide whether or not a course is right for you. These are just things that have helped me to make the decision. I have invested in probably across the space of business, career, and just personal development, probably 3 to 5 courses, all ranging from low cost to high ticket. And I've even created my own course for virtual assistants to get started as beginners. So I'm going to share with you today some of those things. Let's go ahead and get started. I know the first question you're probably wondering is, how do I decide whether or not to spend the money? I'll talk about that at the end. First, I really think that you need to consider a few other more important things besides the money, because everyone is thinking about that. Number one is your time. How much time are you realistically going to have in order to, number one, go through this course, and number two, create a plan or take the plan that the course creator has given you and execute on that. Some courses may be, due to their content and the nature of the topic, longer courses and more time investment therefore. Some might just be very short and really simple things that you can go ahead and you can get done rather quickly, like in a week. Other courses might be in person that you want to go do. You might be doing just a course for fun, for instance. Or is this perhaps maybe just not the right time for you and you have other priorities that you need to get to first? How many books are still sitting on your shelf that you've only gotten halfway through and have not finished reading and even thought about trying to integrate into your life? This is a real question. You might just be really excited to dive in. You might think it's just a quick fix for getting yourself to the next level in life or getting that better job, increasing the revenue in your business, and really it is going to take you much longer to get through the content, but also to figure out. There are also some courses that have time frames that they run in. So is this going to be a self-directed course, or are you going to be showing up for weekly live trainings, daily trainings? Are you going to be sitting in the classroom? This is really important to consider, because the factor is of your time, that if you are not willing to stay committed, you're going to drop off. And I'll get to the return on investment piece in a minute, but you're not going to get that return on investment that you made. And so what was the point in even worrying about the money in the first place when you had not properly planned and accounted for your time? So make sure that you are reviewing the layout of the course and you've got a good idea from the information you're given about how long the course material will take in and of itself. Keep in mind that this is only going through the course. This is only the time required to go through it, not the time required to actually make the changes that you want to see from what you learn in the course, unless you are taking some kind of personalized VIP mentorship, or you're in a classroom and you are there to get individualized attention, hand-holding essentially, to help you get to the end of the program and to have those results in hand. That is something that you should really consider. An additional point on the topic of time that is a little bit of a different direction. If you are really wanting to get to the next stage quicker, you might want to consider going ahead and investing in a course to save time. Instead of spending all of your time out there searching for your own curriculum, essentially, for creating your own how-to guide for getting done what you want to do, it may just be quicker to find a trusted expert or an accredited institution to take your course or get a certification from, versus just trying to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. It takes way longer, and you can get so inundated with so much information out there. It can be hard to know even where to begin with that. So for one, I really have benefited from just a lot of the free content that's out there. I took a lot of free courses in the beginning. I took a lot of newsletter e-courses that were just sent to my inbox every day. And I think that another thing to consider is that when it's free content, a lot of times we don't take it as seriously. And so you should be learning, though, how to set yourself up to take action on things that you're given before you start to invest. But some of us are just not wired like that, and we really need the structure of a course in order to manage our time properly and to get through the information and implement it. Now, the second big consideration that you need to make, and the one that I always make when it comes to whether or not I decide to join a course, is what is your goal and does this course align with it? We have to think a little bit about priorities here, because I know that there are so many different categories of goals when it comes to leveling up your life, when it comes to getting yourself from 0 to 100. You have so many things that you are thinking about improving, right? Go ahead and decide and be realistic. What is my most immediate and important goal? Now, I'm going to mention that there are a lot of trendy things out there right now that are not necessarily going to be giving you the most valuable result. And here's what I mean by that. If you are, for example, at the bottom and you are looking for income, you need to level up your finances, taking a course about how to style yourself or how to lose 20 pounds, while they may be helpful, they are not your most immediate need. And so you should be looking at courses or programs that will teach you how to make more money or get that raise at your job. And I want you to be very specific about what your goal is and be very honest about that, because we can't put the cart before the horse, so to speak. We have a lot of very attractive, flashy things to learn out there. And if you're like me and you love learning things, you just can't get enough, this can be a struggle. So I totally get it, but I want to encourage you to narrow down your goal to your most immediate and important goal before you decide to sign up for a course or not. Another point I'd like to make about goals, and something important to keep in mind, is that the bigger the transformation that the course is meant to give you, the higher the ticket price is going to be. I'll get to the spending plan in just a moment, but I want you to keep that in mind as you are thinking about your goals. It will probably correspond to the monetary cost of what you're going to be spending. Again, some questions that you want to think about are, what is my end goal? And if I am spending this amount on this transformation, perhaps even it might be a professional certification, is this going to be a desirable certification by employers once I complete this that is going to almost, really give me high chances of securing higher income as a result? Or is this just something that is, a periphery goal or attribute that I can take on as part of my level up journey that may not directly impact my income level, but it might help a little bit? I do think that there are other topics, of course, like etiquette or the way that we dress and style ourselves, that can contribute to your success in raising your income levels, of course. And there's many different ways that that's possible, but I think that if you are really kind of lacking the skills or experience or knowledge to get to that next level of income, and that's your most immediate need, of course you need to focus on that first. You want to ideally get the greatest return on investment possible for your goal. Here's a very practical exercise that you can do, and this is something that I love to do in my journal whenever I am working on making a big decision, is you can sit down and write out, after you've got all the information about this course or program you're considering, you can sit down and write out all of the positive things that would get you ideally to your goal with that course and that information in mind, and make sure that you think a little bit about, here's my plan for how I would do that and what I would be doing in order to take that information and bring it into my life. Next, you can set up a list of things that are risks. So what if this didn't help me? What would be my biggest loss as a result of being a part of this course or program? And I think that that can really be eye-opening for you, hopefully, as far as what your next steps might be. Finally, this might be your biggest factor in deciding whether or not to join a program or a course, and that is, what is your spending amount? What have you allotted to spend on your personal or professional development this year? I think that should be a part of everyone's spending plan for the year, first of all. But if it is something that is last minute and something that has come up, here are a few things that can help you to make sure you're being wise and you're being honestly realistic with your money. Let's just say you're starting from zero as far as your personal finances go, and you have hardly any savings in the bank and you're working on leveling up your finances. Of course, I'm going to encourage you to learn how to be disciplined, learn how to build your personal awareness around your ability to take free information and translate that, integrate that into actions in your life that you benefit from. Furthermore, get creative. Think about, how can I afford this? And go out there and see, are there some extra side hustles or side gigs that I could do in order to specifically go towards the goal of paying for this program? Maybe you're trying to finish your college degree or something, and you want to think about it that way so that you are being productive and furthermore advancing yourself financially, not putting yourself into the hole. Another really creative tip that you can do, and this is something that I did at my corporate job, was any certification or course that I wanted to take, I always brought that to my manager. I knew that they had a professional development budget for the year, that if I were to bring them something like a certification I wanted to take, they would pay for that as long as I passed it. And that is actually a huge help and can also help you advance your career in the company if you are not looking to switch companies or jobs. You can take that experience in the company, and let's say, I have seen people, of course, get amazing job offers from other companies that went above and beyond what they could negotiate where they currently were. This is something not to forget about. I worked with a mentor that helped me to create a sales page for my website, and so I knew that at the very least I was going to have a sales page for my website. Even if I was not able to figure out the rest of the pieces I needed to get the sales and increase the revenue through this project I was on, I knew that, I was able to get something. And so I had my minimum return on investment, but then of course we always want to have our ideal as well. And you need to be very intentional about that. I see a lot of people, again, they just jump right into something because they get caught up in the marketing. They don't go through and consider where they are. Is this right for me? Their time that is going to be involved. They don't think even about their spending plan, and they decide to go in debt for it and have probably no real idea of what they're going to get out of it. So very important to think about these things, and I hope that sharing my personal experience is helpful to hear for you. Now let's go over a few final notes and tips for you, because these are sort of the things that I think are obvious, but maybe a lot of us don't realize at first. So number one is that you must go through and read reviews or ask around, ask for personal recommendations before you just decide to jump into a course. And I mainly speak about this for high ticket courses. Low cost or low ticket, I personally consider anything below $200. For some people, they might consider that to be under $500 US, but I think that high ticket, definitely we see courses that are maybe like $900 and over in that realm. And so I would advise you to definitely look for reviews and or make sure you have a personal recommendation. If you can find someone's real life experience that wasn't sponsored and gain what you can from that before you decide to jump in, that is great as well. Like I said in the beginning, there are a lot of online courses out there these days, and there are some courses even from accredited organizations that may just be giving you information, but you don't really get any results with. And so consider these things carefully as you make your decision. Another note that hopefully you've picked up on is that personal awareness is key when it comes to taking especially a self-led course. So this will be a course that has, your lifetime expiration. There's no end date. There's no weekly meetings that you've got to catch up with or anything like that. You're just getting the information and you can go through it at a self-pace. You've got to make sure that you are disciplined enough that you're going to sit down. This is going in your calendar, and you are going to learn the information and you are going to execute on it. I just wanted to say this again because I know that for me especially, I will see something and I will go, I really want to do that, but I don't actually have the time, or it's really not an area of focus for me at the moment. Last but not least, if you decided to sign up for a course and you're just not getting through the content and you're finding that you were really excited at first and you're feeling discouraged and losing motivation, keep going. You can always reset this personal goal of yours to get through the course and come up with a plan, because not all is lost when you feel like you can't get through the content and you've just changed your mind. just go through it and finish it. I have benefited from a variety of courses over the past several years, and for me, I love having the organization. I love having the expertise from someone who has sort of achieved what I've wanted to achieve. I love being able to go out there and get a certification that I know is going to benefit my career. These are all really important things to me, but I think that sometimes we can jump into something that we're so excited about because we think, okay, this is going to be it. This is what's going to get me to the next level in my life. I am ready. And we just get discouraged because we start going through the content and we are losing steam. It gets a little challenging. It is hard. Just like when you were in school, you have to sit there and you have to do a lot of things that are exercising those learning muscles, and it's new. You've never done this before. It's probably going to be hard in some cases to get through the course and then implement everything. Don't give up, don't get discouraged. Just make sure that you reset your schedule, make sure that you're prioritizing and you're focusing and being clear on what goal it is that you want to achieve at the end of completing this course. I got 2 college degrees, and I thought in my early 20s that with these college degrees, employers were just going to be at my feet handing me jobs. And that was not the case. I want you to be motivated, but I want you to realize and be realistic that we also must learn how to sell ourselves, how to sell a product. I mean, even when you are out there in the traditional job space, you have to be able to tell someone why you are the one for the job instead of someone else. If you are an entrepreneur starting your own business and taking clients, you have to convince someone why you are the one that they want to work with, or why your product is the best and the thing that they need. So with that information, we've got to go and then be able to sell ourselves and market ourselves to the right people and the right opportunities. And so I'm a big fan of online learning. I think that there are so many more opportunities created when you are able to stay focused and in control of what you're learning and how you want to use that information. You can go out there and take advantage of all the opportunities that exist, but they are not going to be just handed to you on a silver platter in most cases. All right, so I think that's going to wrap up this video. I hope that this gave you some good things to think about if you are thinking about taking a course or starting a program as part of your level up journey. I want to see you succeed and do the best. It has been quite the journey for me, and I have made mistakes along the way, but I'm here to encourage you and motivate you. So if you have not checked out one of these videos here on the screen, please do, and I will see you there. Until next time, bye.